Daigle, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
Yeah, good. Obviously, a good 3 points today. Hard-fought victory against a very good side in Brighton.
Yep.
What did you make out of the game today?
So first of all, like you were just saying about Antonio Conte, you could see from the very, very start he's heartbroken. The emotion that was on him, and fair play for steering us through that victory. And like you said, let's just hope the press and the media have some kind of empathy with him and don't keep him there too long, because you can see he's obviously his mind is elsewhere, and you know it's going to be.
Yeah.
In regards to the game, do you know what? The 3-5-2, we're all calling for it. And up until we scored the goal, I was loving what we were doing. What we were doing. And then, like you said, after the goal went in, we kind of went back to, like, with Mourinho and just, like, defence. But it was a rugged, disciplined, and a good performance. And like Nick just said, I think Doherty and Sessegnon deserve a lot of credit. They come in for a lot of abuse. But Doherty, I think, played very well today. Very well.
Absolutely. And there were those few moments in the early stage of the first half where he really should have done better with squaring it to Sessegnon and even getting on the end of one himself. But has he done enough now to be there for the next couple of games?
Well, I think he's going to be. I mean, if you look at it, the one thing he did do is he put in a couple of fantastic blocks at really pivotal moments, which really, really helped the team. And let's face it, as much as we all want to see Spence, I just don't see it happening until the Carabao Cup at home to Forest, and then maybe after the World Cup. So has Doherty done enough with that performance to warrant playing in the... Oh, no, Champions League, we don't know, because Emerson is available to play. But I think against Everton, Doherty's done enough, to start. And like we said, with the 3-5-2, the midfield put in a very disciplined performance, and we did cut them off. And I think we could see the difference there. I'm very happy with the performance. It wasn't the greatest football, but 3 points, job done. And I don't know if you heard it in your commentary, but they said it here that I think that's the first time Brighton have lost at home in 7 months in the league.
It's the first time they've lost at home since we beat them at home.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, back end of in kind of mid last season, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd just come back from my trip with Bob when he came back. So also all that game. So listen, it's 1-0. It's a clean sheet. There's lots of positives to take from it.
Absolutely. What did you make out of? I mean, you've said the midfield did a very good disciplined performance. Me personally, I thought Højbjerg was my man the match today. What did you make out of the midfield, including Bissouma?
So Bissouma, obviously, he picked up that yellow card. It was a bad tackle. But obviously he got it. But unlike West Ham, he remained focused. He remained focused this game. Maybe it was being back at his old ground or whatever, but he was disciplined. Listen, you know my feelings on Højbjerg. I love that man. He put in a very good performance. The one I do want to talk about, and I was mentioning it on the pump up again, were Kane. Yeah, listen. First of all, that header was a carbon copy. Do you remember the header he scored in the semi-final at Wembley against Chelsea? That stupid header.
Yes.
It was very, very, very similar to that. It's a great, great header and a great... but his final ball seemed lacking. And let's just hope that injury where he went off, because obviously he picked up a little knock against Frankfurt, and then he's gone off with this one. Let's just hope it's a measure of precaution, because the last thing we need is him off. But back on the midfield, you know what? For me, Bentancur's been one of the best players we've had this season. Yeah. He's been outstanding. And like I said, the three of them together put in a shift, and let's just hope that can continue for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think Brian Kane said after the game, he said, you know, we bounced back after the North London derby defeat, and we did that even though it wasn't the best performance. We just have to take it game by game. We have the Champions League match on Wednesday. On his goal, he said, when you're in good form, sometimes those just hit you and go in. And on his injury, he said, the ankle is okay, no twist or anything, so I'm pretty sure it's fine. So fingers crossed that it is.
Yeah, let's just hope so. Obviously, sometimes these flare up the day after, but if he's saying that, that's a very positive thing to be hearing. And like I said, the thing is, we would all at the beginning of this game would have taken a terrible display, 1-0, and just get out dodge with the 3 points. It wasn't a terrible display. We did get the 3 points. We did get a clean sheet, and that's something to build on. We've got a lot of games coming, and at least that mini. Not winning streak against the filth, and obviously the performance of Frankfurt, we put that to bed now. We have 3 points. It's something to build on.
Yeah, absolutely. But does it make it even more impressive? Because me and you were talking before this game, and we were talking about the impact that the thing would happen. Everything happened during the week with Ventroni and how it's affected the squad and how it's affected Conte. Does it make it even more impressive to go to Brighton, having them not lost for so long at the Amex, to go there and win?
I think it does, Ben. I think it does. Like you said, with the emotions running so high with this, it's going to go one way or the other. They could have crumbled, or they could have manned up and put in like we said, a disciplined performance, and that's exactly what they did to the very final minute. I mean, right near the end, before injury time, what I didn't like to see was, even though we were keeping our shape very, very well, they were getting through the midfield very, very quickly and into the penalty area. But thankfully, Welbeck didn't have his shooting boots on, and they just couldn't make anything stick and make Hugo do any real hard work. But I think the boys have to take a lot of credit for going there when they know the pressure's been on them for the style of play and everything else, and they rose to the occasion. And like we said, that is 3 points. Let's hope Liverpool can do us a favour. And like we said, there's a lot of positives to take from this. After a couple of games with negatives, there is nothing but positives to take from here.
Man the match, Daigle?
So, do you know what? I don't know what... I kept seeing in some kind of... apparently Sky at one point I heard was saying that Sessegnon...
Yeah, Sky gave it to Sess.
Sky gave it to Sess.
They gave Sess. And like I said, Seth and Doherty, who come in for a lot of stick, played very, very well. I'm kind of with you, Ben, and I'm going to edge it with Højbjerg because he's just everywhere. He's just everywhere. He even pulled up and he looked like he got a bit of an injury. And you know, when he's holding parts of his body, there's genuine concern because that man does not fake anything when it comes to injuries. But he soldiered on as he normally does. So just based on that, I would probably just edge it with Højbjerg. That might be a bit of bias because I love him dearly. But I think Sessegnon and Doherty deserve, like I said before, if people, and I'm one of them, so I stand up for this as well. If people are man enough to, or woman enough to criticise people, they've got to be able to say, do you know what? I may criticise, but I could also give praise. And both Sessegnon and Doherty do deserve a lot of praise today.
Absolutely spot on. Just before you go, I just want to touch on Richarlison's performance when he came on. I was really disappointed with that performance. I mean, he kept losing the ball in the edge of our penalty box. I mean, it happened twice. Did you see anything positive in there from Richarlison, or what did you make out of his display? Not
really. He's got such a heavy touch. It's like he's got bouncy castles in his football boots because they just can't bloody stick. It's been a bit of a problem, hasn't it? You can see it at Everton, but there's times where his first touch is just so heavy that it puts him into trouble, and it's happened again. So hopefully he can work on that. Hopefully he can work on that. But listen, like we said, he comes on and it's better than when we've had Janssen, or it's better than when we've had Soldat. You know what I mean? There is a player in there. He's just got to work on certain attributes, and his first touch is most definitely one of them.
And actually, I've got one more thing to tell you before he goes. I got a message from the Irish Hotspur for you, and he says, tell Daigle he has to do Kane in. I'm not sure what that means.
So I don't know if you were watching the pump up when we were talking about the 3-5-2 and what changes. I said I wouldn't mind seeing Kane on the bench, and the reason I said that is because Richarlison and Son have been rotated. Kane hasn't been rotated, dropped, rested, whatever word you want to use. And after picking that knock up against Frankfurt, I was like, the last thing, it was a bit with my England hat on. I just don't want him picking up an injury. It wasn't because I don't want him to play and he's not scoring. And David, obviously being Kane's #1 fan, went absolutely a little bit crazy. And then as I was leaving, he said, Brian, if Kane scores or does well, you've got to say, and as always, Kane in. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, if Kane doesn't have a good game or goes off injured, you've got to say Kane rested, and he wouldn't rise to that. So I will be a man of my word, because I will say, do you know what? He scored the goal. I don't think his performance was brilliant, but he got the goal that got the 3 points. So I will be a man of my word, and I will say it, and I will do it right now. If we're finished, I will say, and as always, Kane in.
Big up, Daigle. Thanks for coming on today, mate. I love that, man.